Bom dia!
Hi!
We're in Portugal finally. This is Daniel and Lisha from the Jet Set and Jesters. Welcome to our channel. We're in Porto, Portugal. If you want to see kind of what we are seeing right now, I'll give you a little look-see. We're at a park overlooking Porto.
The Douro River.
Yeah, this is the Douro River, and it's so beautiful here. We've done so many things. So we're staying in Porto for 2.5 weeks, and this is week 1. So we got here last Wednesday. This is Thursday, and so we've had 8 days to settle in.
Yes, it's been just a beautiful, beautiful city. I can't get over just how friendly the people are, how easy it is to get around. The Ubers are very affordable. They're very fast. They get to you in like 2 to 3 minutes, so don't order it until you're ready to go. We've done that a few times. We weren't ready and they were already there.
There's a lot of them, and we figured it's about a third of the cost of Ubers in the United States, which is pretty cool.
It's like $3 to $5 just for your standard Uber back and forth through Porto. But as far as our travel to Portugal, that was a little bit of a rough ride.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're from Springfield, Missouri, and we rented a SUV up to Chicago. We stayed in Chicago for a night, and then we took an 8-hour plane ride across to Lisbon.
Yes, so we had a 7-hour drive to Chicago, which went smooth. Like, that was the best smooth part of our journey. Kids did great. Leaving early in the morning with children for a road trip is the way to go.
What time did we shove off? 7?
Yeah, about 6 a.m.
6, 7 a.m.
But then we got to Chicago. It was great. Next day, we arrived to the airport, and I thought, my mistake, I thought to get to the airport way earlier, but the actual check-in, if you're going to check bags, does not open until 2 to 3 hours before your flight. So our flight wasn't until 10 o'clock at night, so we spent several hours just at the next to the check-in counter, basically, and that was rough with 2 kids.
We got to the airport, I think, at 2 p.m., and our flight was at 10 p.m. So
yeah, it was
8 hours.
It was a long day. But then the actual flight was okay. I did not realize that they still serve dinner and stuff on overnight flights, so that did kind of wake the kids up and kind of put a wrench in things a little bit. But then once the lights all went low, Maverick slept a little bit, Delilah slept the whole time. She slept the best out of all of us on the way here. So that was great. And then we arrived, and then
we did not sleep on the plane.
Yeah, we did not sleep. I didn't sleep 1 minute on the plane. It was rough. But when we did land, that's kind of where things got really hairy for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So after a long trip, we had to actually hop on a train not long after we landed to travel north to Porto for 4 hours.
Also, the transfer I thought I had booked was for the next day. I didn't have it booked for the right day. So we had to stuff all of our luggage and everything into a tiny taxi, which we had way too much luggage with us. I will say, if you are going to go to Europe, I know with 2 children, we need a lot of stuff, but try your absolute best to pare it way down.
Yeah, we're going to be here for a few months, so it's a little bit different, but there are things that we could have bought here.
Yes.
So we brought a bed for Delilah, which was 28 pounds or something like that, and it was very difficult. And we had 3 carry-on suitcases, we had 3 carry-on bags, and then we had 1 large suitcase and also a backpack of our backpacks.
Yeah, our carrying backpacks and a double stroller.
So it was far too much. And so having to lug that through the airport into an Uber, and then try to catch the train on the train station, which neither of us have ever taken a train, so that was pretty hard.
That was hard. We got there, it was very hot. It's actually like the hottest, it never gets that hot. And so we weren't really prepared when we got there to the train station. There was no AC, and then we also had to lug everything. We could not for the life of us find where our, what do they call it, platform is to leave.
Yeah.
We couldn't figure out where that was.
It was intense, but we got onto our train, honestly, with the help of some locals. A couple local ladies really helped us out. The people here in Portugal are just fantastic.
Yes.
I mean, genuinely, they're all so nice.
Yeah, I was having a little bit of a breakdown emotionally, and these ladies came and they just helped us, and they were so sweet. They spoke English, which was great because it was a culture shock. You know, you land, all of a sudden you're somewhere where a lot of people don't speak your language. You are lost and you're asking around, and my translation app wasn't working. That was a big issue I was having. So we were just being told directions that didn't really make sense.
We were actually told wrong directions too a couple times, so that really threw us off and definitely tested us. But you know, we finally made it. We thought it was only going to be 3 hours. I think that train ride took about 4,
Yeah, it was
maybe
about
even
4
4.5 hours, honestly.
And we thought it was going to be more scenic. It didn't end up being very scenic.
It wasn't
but
very
at
scenic.
that point, we just needed to get to Porto. And then when we did arrive to Porto, we got in an Uber, got to our place, got settled in, and crashed. Basically, we just crashed, and it was intense. Thankfully, our Airbnb has air conditioning.
Yes.
We love, our Airbnb is only a 1-bedroom, so that's tricky with 2 kids.
Yeah, it's been boot camp being, going from a 3-bedroom house with a full yard to a 1-bedroom apartment here in Porto.
It's like a glorified studio apartment
It
because it's like 1 bedroom, but it could be considered a studio. But the great thing about it is it has a terrace, and the terrace is nice.
Like a small backyard.
Yes, like a small backyard, and it's private. It's just for us. And they get to go out and stretch their legs, go outside when Delilah's getting fussy, which she's been very fussy this trip. But
she's going through some kind of a leap, some kind of a change right now.
And they do have jet lag, and I will say that with children, we've never experienced this. It's a 6-hour time difference. So when you first get here, this first week, you pretty much need to just know that schedules are going to be out the window. You're basically just trying to survive, getting sleep here and there, getting them accustomed to, the new schedule. The best advice I was given was, as soon as they wake up in the morning, take them outside in the daylight, get them exposed to the daylight. That helps produce the melatonin that they need for the nighttime. And they may take naps here and there in the stroller or take little midday naps. That's fine, but the more you keep doing that, the better. Now I feel like they're pretty much on the time now.
Yeah,
they're good. They're good with the schedule now. Like
we really hadn't traveled with our kids at all, so this was a big leap for all of us, and we've learned a lot. We have got to do some sightseeing. We found a nanny. Lisha found a nanny, so we've had, this is our 3rd date?
4th date.
4th date, yeah. So we have gotten out, which has been lovely.
If you're parents and you're traveling with little children, for the sake of your marriage, absolutely plan ahead for a nanny, or for, they have wonderful services here. One is Nanny Portugal. That's a great service. And you can find someone and plan that date. I planned this weeks before we left because I knew after all of this experience, we're going to need some time to decompress, and it was absolutely worth it. And she's been amazing.
Yeah, and make sure you're finding somebody with reviews, somebody with, experience, not just a babysitter, a nanny preferably.
Yes, and she's been great. So it's been a great time for us to just reconnect and enjoy being here without having to take care of children the whole time.
Be ourselves and have some fun.
All right, so now that we kind of updated you on the experience of traveling here, which was crazy, now we get to the fun part, which was all of the things we've gotten to experience since we've gotten here, and it's been so cool.
Yeah, so we are located pretty much in the Porto city center near
Santa Catarina.
Yes.
Santa Catarina Street. It's like the shopping district. It's this beautiful street. It has tons of shops.
It's blocked off. There's no cars typically, and we are on Rua de Firmeza, so you can look those up. That's where we're at. But it's just been fantastic because we can just walk a block away from our place, get coffee, get breakfast, do some shopping. Via Catarina is a nice shopping mall. We've had some essentials that we weren't able to bring. So we've had to get some of those, some baby essentials, personal stuff. So it's been nice. It's great.
There's, cafes every 100 meters, I feel. Every 100 feet, I feel like
Less than that, yeah.
There's a cafe, a restaurant. There's so much food. That's the most amazing thing, too, we've noticed, is you don't have waits like you do in the U.S. when you go to a restaurant when it's very busy, because there's so many options. So you always can find some place to eat pretty much right away.
Yeah, it's been great. We'll just sit right down. They're very friendly to kids. So yeah, we've done a lot of walking around. So first we did a tuk-tuk tour so we could get a lay of the land, see the neighborhood, see where all the sites are close to us.
All the beautiful buildings, all the architecture, they filled us in on a little bit of history. And it was just fun to just ride around on the street. Maverick really enjoyed that a lot. He talked about it a lot after. And then there was a cruise that followed that after, where we went up and down the Douro River and got to see that beautiful just postcard view of Porto.
Yeah, it was fantastic. What else have we done? So we went to the beach.
We did. We went to Ingleses Beach, which was beautiful. It has...
And that's been beautiful, and just playing in the sand and swimming a little bit in the ocean. We also did a date night where we had francesinha, which is the local favorite here, which is kind of like, how do you explain it?
It's very hearty. It's they don't call it a sandwich, but it's like 2 pieces of very thick bread, and then you have, I think, sausage, then you have some kind of...
I think maybe ham is in there,
meat,
maybe some steak.
And then it's basically...
covered in cheese.
Yeah, drowned in cheese and drowned in this broth, and then topped with the fried egg, so it's very hearty.
Yeah.
But we really needed that after there's a lot of hills after we have we've walked miles now. Up and down hills, so we were ready for a hearty meal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and just had some mommy and daddy time to ourselves next to the river and just relaxed for a while, so that was fantastic. We've seen multiple different historic sites. Yesterday we went to the
Porto Cathedral.
We went to Porto Cathedral as well as the Bishop's Palace, which we can see right now across the river. It's beautiful.
And of course you have the beautiful Luis Bridge,
yes,
which is so fun to walk across.
It's very distinct. It's made of iron. There are quite a few different bridges here, but that was a cool one. We just walked across the top of it to get over here. What else have we done? Really,
we've just enjoyed walking in. Around every corner is just something beautiful to see. There's a lot of Gothic tile, a lot of churches, a lot of art and history. So we've just taken a lot of time walking. Of course, we try to only do one big outing per day. We've taken a lot of days too where we mostly just rested and stayed close to the Airbnb, because that's crucial with little children. We have the luxury of having a longer time here. So I would say if you're going to do Porto, dedicate the time to be here. Don't just make it a couple days. There's so much to see.
Especially if you have little kids, because bringing them all the way over here was such a task, and it's taken them 5-6 days to acclimate. It really has.
Yeah, but we still had beautiful moments in between. There's musicians on every corner too, which Maverick absolutely loves. There's always music playing, which
street performers.
Is so cool. Oh, I did go to the beautiful Yateman Hotel, had a spa day there. That was so nice. We really needed a day for ourselves, so I took a day and he took a day, and I got a massage and just got to relax, and that was great. So what I also will mention is in Porto especially, I have never experienced this as an American, but there is a lot of smoking outdoors. There's a lot of smoking everywhere, but you may sit at a cafe and be overwhelmed a little bit by the amount of smoke sometimes, but we're getting used to it. We're finding ways around it, just trying to sit a little bit farther away from people, or finding a cafe that's not as busy. But that's something to consider if you are sensitive to cigarette smoke at all.
Yeah, I don't mind it too much, but yeah, it's definitely everywhere. I was surprised to know how many people smoked all the time, all day, every day.
Yes, it's a different culture for sure. I'm a little bit more sensitive to it, and of course with the babies, but other than that, everyone is so friendly, and they love children here, which I think is so cool. They'll just come up and they'll just squeeze their cheeks or pinch their toes or just talk to them and make them smile, and the kids absolutely love that. Delilah just lights up anytime someone starts talking to her.
Yeah.
And Maverick he's a social butterfly, so he loves talking to all of the people. It's like a village here.
Everybody's family. It seems like everybody looks after each other.
It hasn't felt really lonely. That's
No,
the thing is
no.
I figured I'd feel more lonely for a while, you know, just it being us, but everyone is so sweet and friendly that I really haven't felt super lonely.
So yeah, that's really our first week here in Porto, and we're in love with this city. We're gonna go down to the Cascais area, which is just south of Lisbon, here in a couple weeks, or in a week and a half, specifically to the city of Estoril, and that's where we'll be staying for 30 days. So click, like, follow our page, and follow our journey. Like we said, we're gonna bring you the good and the bad.
We'll have so much more to show you. As far as when we're in Cascais, there's Sintra, there's Lisbon we may stop in. There's beautiful coast there, so we're gonna have
even more south to the Algarve after that. So stay tuned for more. We appreciate you following along, and we'll see you next time.
All right, see you, bye.
Bye.
Fechando o verão é a promessa de vida no teu coração.